everyone, this is Grace with Grace Gets Gastric, and I am here with my 1 week post VSG update, so we can just get right into stats. So like I said, my name is Grace. I'm 5'8", 27 years old. 1 week ago today, on January 2nd, 2018, I had the vertical sleeve gastrectomy surgery, or the VSG. My high weight was 354 pounds, and that was in May of 2017, and that's right before I started the 6-month medically supervised weight loss diet that was required by my insurance. So I lost about 30 pounds from then until surgery. So day of surgery, my weight was 319 pounds, and today I weigh 307.3, so that's a weekly loss of 11.7 pounds, which is crazy and awesome. I mean, I figured that there would be, like the first month is always like a crazy big month, especially like being on liquids for so long. But it's really, it's really cool to see that number, that low number. I don't remember the last time I was below 300. It happened. It was, when I was in high school, but I don't really remember that. So I'm 7 pounds away from that. That's crazy. Yeah, so I'm pleased. I'm glad to see all of the liquids are paying off the way they should. And yeah, I expected this first month is going to be kind of a big whoosh, especially, before I start eating real foods again. And then we'll see how things go once I actually start incorporating actual food again. So I have some notes, that's why I'm looking down. I took notes on my phone and then realized I was going to be using my phone to film, so I had to write them all down. So hopefully I've got everything. I just kind of want to do sort of a recap of my past week. I feel like I look a little bit better than I did in my last video. I feel a lot better. So I kind of did a recap of the first few days. Day 2, by the end of day 2, and I'm considering day 0 was the day of surgery, and then day 1, day 2. So the day 2 was when I filmed my last video, I believe, and that was the last time I took any kind of narcotic or nausea medication. So I haven't had any significant enough pain to warrant the oxycodone that I was sent home with. I haven't needed those nausea pain meds, which is good because the nausea would kind of be intense sometimes those first few days. So that's great. I have taken Tylenol a couple of times, but that's just been kind of inconsistent. I haven't even taken it every single day. So it's kind of day 2. Day 3, that was when I finally kind of felt like I was coming out from the anesthesia fog. I think anesthesia kind of stays with you. I've been maybe a little bit more emotional than normal. I'll talk about that a little bit. But day 3 was when I finally started feeling like myself again. I felt like I could do things, that I wasn't just so tired and exhausted. Day 3 was definitely a big turning point for me. It's also when the thought or the sight or the smell of food didn't make me kind of feel a little bit ill, which I don't know if it was the anesthesia that was affecting it, possibly, or maybe it was just, my stomach was still really, really healing. But for the first few days, the thought of food was so unappealing. I actually had to avoid, or I had to do a lot of scrolling past on Instagram because, so much of what we post about is food, and I couldn't even look at it. It was just not working for me. But that has completely gone away, and now I've got quite a bit of head hunger. I'm not at all hungry at all, but I definitely want to eat. And that kind of started in day 3 and really has kicked off in day 4 when I was like, food. But it's been totally manageable. I'm not at all tempted to cheat. I'm not stupid, honestly. I just, not to say anyone who cheats on this is stupid necessarily, but post-op, when you've got a healing stomach, maybe a little bit, I'm not going to risk my life because cheese sounds good right now. And that's one of the things I was gonna say that's cool is, the stuff that I'm craving is chicken, grilled, on the barbecue chicken and steak and cheese and avocado. I'm dying for some avocado, but really like good, healthy foods, like the kind of foods that I should be eating post-op. You know, I'm not really craving any like the carby stuff. Some of the thought of that stuff even, it doesn't necessarily make me feel sick, but I'm just like, no, it doesn't really do it for me. So that's kind of exciting. I've been killing some time looking up lots of recipes. I have so many recipes saved to try out. I'm really excited. I love cooking. It's something I don't always have a lot of time for with work and stuff, and something that I'm making a priority. You know, like that's part of this big change is making it a priority, and it's something that I love and something that I find relaxing. It's a good way to express some creativity and de-stress. So yes, I've been excited to find a lot of recipes to work with. So yeah, day 4, the head hunger, that's also, you know, I never kind of got this like, oh, sorry, TMI, like we're on these videos to like hear the whole story. So, I'm not really going to do a TMI warning. Like if you're watching my videos, expect that I'm going to talk about the many side effects and aspects of the surgery, and I'm not going to get super graphic or anything, but that is what it is. So day 4 was when I had my first bowel movement, which was, I didn't know if it wasn't exciting. It was just a thing. My doctor had said, you know, like I don't expect to have one every day. They sent me home with this, or they had me pick up this docusate. Ooh, I don't know. It's probably backwards. Sodium. It's a stool softener laxative. And I started taking that in day 3, and then I took another one day 4, and then I was good. I've been taking it every day since, and then every day since I've had a bowel movement, and it's been, you know, fine. I never really felt like pain or crampy or backed up or anything, but I clearly like was. I hadn't gone in like days and days, but I also haven't eaten solid foods in days and days. Day 5 was, I guess, not a big deal. I didn't write anything about day 5. But day 6 was, I remember, I woke up kind of early-ish and felt like a sharpish pain, incision pain on what I think is my, like the incision where they took the stomach out. I don't know for sure. It's hard to tell because they're all taped up. I don't know which one's like the biggest, but based on the location and the amount of bruising, I think it's that one. And it's also the one that has been slightly painful. And my Tylenol was not next to me, so I just decided to wait it out, and I fell back asleep, and by the time I woke up, it was manageable, and I did take a few Tylenol. Sometimes it does bother me if I twist or like move a certain way, especially like if I'm lying down on my back and like I turn on my side sometimes, it pulls, I think, on that incision. So there's like some pain there, but it hasn't been strong enough to warrant anything more than Tylenol. But I really didn't feel any incision pain until yesterday. Day 6. So yesterday was also when I left the house for the first time. I've been walking around my apartment. My Fitbit like has these little reminders every 250 steps to walk. So I've been trying to do that. I probably could be better with walking. It's just so cold. I'm freezing all the time. I'm so cold. And it's freezing outside and it's just shitty out. So like I just went on a little bit of a walk right before I filmed this, and I was planning to do like 30 minutes or an hour, and I liked it. I was like, this feels good, like better than I felt like it felt before surgery. I don't know, I was just like, I'm going to do this. But then it started raining, and I was wearing this long sleeve shirt and then a sweatshirt and then my leather jacket, and it was cold, my face was cold, and it was uncomfortable. So I need to reevaluate what I want to do there. Maybe just, I didn't realize it was going to be like so rainy out, so I didn't properly prepare before I left. And I might just need to like go to the gym and like walk on the treadmill a bit or something. So I need to be walking more, but that's a tangent. I'm talking about yesterday. So yesterday I left the house, our internet decided to go out, and we had, me and my roommate were both here. We had like stuff we needed to do online, like critically. And so we went to a cafe. And after I kind of finished my stuff, she was still doing some work, so I took a little bit of a walk kind of in the shop area of where we were, which was really nice. I got in a good 1,000 steps. It was a decent walk. One thing that has been happening, and it happened a lot on that walk, is I've been getting some like cramping on my calves, like almost like a Charlie horse, but not quite that intense. Like it usually just kind of seizes up and gets a little bit tense. And it's been happening like a little bit before then, but then when I did my walk, you know, I kind of walked, around a few blocks, and I was coming back to the cafe, and it was a very slight incline. I mean, it was nothing. And I don't know if the incline had anything to do with it. I just know that was the point in which, like, every step I took, my, like, calves were seizing. And I, like, stopped. It was, like, hard to walk. And, I mean, it was painful, not excruciating, but it was, like, it was just hard to walk when my calves kept, like, doing that. And at one point, I had to, like, I was sort of, like, sidestepping because, like, for some reason, it was, like, the forward steps that seemed to be a problem. Anyways, that was kind of weird. But it wore off before I even got back to the cafe, and I haven't felt it since. So I'm hoping to do more walking, maybe I'm looking out the window, if it gets like a little bit nicer in the afternoon. Cause I'm not sure if maybe it was just like I hadn't been walking quite enough, probably. But if it happens again, then I'm going to message my surgeon and see if there are any concerns. I'm seeing them in a week. And it wasn't concerning enough to me where I'm like dying or worried about dying, but just something that happened. And then today, day 7, 1 week, woo! So crazy that it's already been a week since surgery. So I weighed today. I was so good. I have been wanting to weigh for ages. But I was like, no, I'm giving myself a week. I might become a daily weigher eventually, just because it's cool to see like that trend and that progress. But especially for the first week post-op, I was like, there could be some like swelling and stuff. I don't want to, I've heard people who are like really discouraged because they've gained weight after the surgery because of like all the IV fluids and stuff. So I was like, I feel like I probably would have been fine, but I kind of just wanted like the big reveal on 1 week post-op. So I waited. But it was really hard. I kept really wanting to weigh myself every time. Like my scale's like right there in my bathroom. It's kind of small, or my bathroom's kind of small, so I like have to almost step over it. And every time I saw it, I'm like, don't step on it, don't step on it. And I didn't. It was kind of cool though. I have a Fitbit Aria. I just got it for Christmas. I got a lot of cool like weight loss surgery. I kind of sent a list to my parents, and I was like, if you want to get me anything, because they don't always give a lot of gifts, I was like, please don't get me clothing or get me any kind of food stuff. But here are some things I've been kind of marking as I've watched people's journeys and been like, oh, that looks cool. But the scale was like the big thing I wanted because I love the idea that it syncs to my phone. It just makes tracking easier. And the Aria 2 just came out, which is cool. So I got that one. And what was the point of the story? Right. So I got on the scale this morning and it didn't recognize who I was, right? So you set up a profile and it kind of knows who you are, who just stepped on the scale based on like the weight. But I'd lost so much weight in a week that it didn't recognize my name. Like it said guest, which was, I mean, like kind of a small little thing, but it was just cool. I was like, oh, so I had to go into the app and like mark that weigh in as mine, and then got to see all the pretty, how much weight have you lost? And I was like, yay. Right. Can you tell? I feel like I'm in such a much better mood than I was last time, which is actually funny because the other thing I want to talk about yesterday, and I didn't mention, was that yesterday was a really shitty day, personally. Not to do with the surgery. But yeah, a friend and I had a disagreement last month, and I thought we'd kind of like worked past it. I'd done something that she took more personally in a way I hadn't meant it to be personal, and she just took it personally. So it's kind of one of those weird things where like she was a little bit hurt and I was perplexed at like how sensitive she was being about it, but I was, I thought we had come to a resolution, and she sent a rather kind of nasty email. Anyways, it was clearly she hadn't been over it, and she brought up some other stuff, some just like complete misinterpretation of events that had happened. anyways, this is way personal and not to do with weight loss surgery, but the point was I was like kind of taken off guard and like I'm already in like such a weird state right now. And so yeah, it was really upsetting. I was like in the cafe, like trying not to cry, and you know, like that was when I, you know, feel that way, like a big thing. Oh, I forgot to close my closet. Anyways, when I feel that way, you know, like I'm an emotional eater. Like that's definitely one of my issues that I'm going to need to work through. You know, when I'm bored, when I'm angry, when I'm upset, you know, like food has always been a comfort. And, you know, like that point would have been, you know, like that moment yesterday, like that's when I would have wanted to turn to food, to eat, to feel that comfort, to feel that reassurance. And you know, I was really grateful that I couldn't. I mean, at that particular moment, right, I'm still on liquids. I can't eat. You know, if I want to eat, I'm not going to eat. So there was that restriction, which I was, you know, I was grateful for, because at least in one instance, it stopped me from doing that. But also because right now, you know, and I'm still kind of in this very early honeymoon type stage. I didn't want to eat either. I mean, normally that's what I would turn to as a comfort, but that wasn't my first instinct. You know, I turned to a lot of my friends. We had, you know, my other friends, we had kind of talking things out, and carbs are my love, and those don't sound good to me right now. I mean, and I know this is something that, you know, these first few weeks when like all my nerves are cut and I don't feel hunger, that's not going to last forever. But it was a nice reminder that, you know, life isn't going to stop because I get this surgery. Life's still going to be hard sometimes. There's going to be shitty days. You know, I'm 1 week post-op. My emotions are not totally stable yet. Was not in a great place to handle that kind of stuff. And life isn't going to be like, oh, well, you're feeling down right now, so I'm not going to pile this on. And, you know, I've had a whole life of learning unhealthy coping mechanisms with food. And that's something that I really need to prioritize working through, right? Because you know, 2 years from now, I don't want that stuff to come back and derail me. So that's one of my big things. I'm taking some time off of work. Honestly, I feel like I could have gone back after 1 week. I feel like I could have gone back to work yesterday. I took 3 weeks off because honestly, I don't like my job. And the only reason I'm still there is because I have great insurance that covered this surgery. So now that I've had this surgery, I'm looking for a new job. But that's a February grace problem. January grace has a lot of other things to focus on. One of those is to find a therapist. It's something I've been meaning to do. I've been putting it off. Mostly just because I know it's just going to be a pain, right? Like I have to find ones that are covered, and then I'm probably going to have to, you know, I have to make sure I vet the ones, because I want someone who has experience dealing with kind of like eating and food issues, weight issues, because that's kind of a big thing for me. And also, you know, I have some other issues that I probably need to deal with as well. And I want to, right, and then I'm gonna have to vet them and stuff and meet with them and see if we click. I'm sorry, I can't, sometimes I look at my face and my camera thing is not the same. So if I'm just like looking at a random point over here, I apologize. I try to remind myself to look at the actual like dot, but I don't always do that. But right, so emotional issues, therapy, I do think that's really important. I haven't seen a therapist since I was pretty young. I think I've done a pretty good job of working on a couple of my other issues on my own, but I want just to have the best chance of success with this. Sorry, I wrote down stuff to say. Like, I have this whole thing. It's already 19 minutes, and I haven't even talked about vitamins yet, which today I started my vitamins. You're at a different angle because I just dropped my phone, and I think I cut out that nightmare of a situation, but there we go. So I'll just talk quickly about vitamins. So I started my vitamins today. I have these little things that I put in. It's like a 1 week thing. We'll see how those work for me. So I am taking a multivitamin. So I'm taking, I don't know if it's, if it's going to be backwards, but the Bariatric Advantage Chewable Advanced Multivitamin, and it's the mixed fruit flavor. So I'm taking 2 of these a day. That's like a serving. And this comes with all of the iron and like the B12 and all the stuff that I need. So I'm taking those for the first month, and then I've switched to another Bariatric Advantage for after that, which is a swallowable, a pill, and it's cheaper. So I'm taking that because that's when 1 month out is when I can start taking like pills, pill vitamins, and swallowing them. And then I'm taking the Bariatric Advantage calciums, the calcium citrate, the strawberry flavor, and I'm taking 3 of these a day. I've taken but 1 of these so far and 1 of the multivitamins, and I have tolerated them, so that is awesome. They haven't been too gross. They've sat well in my stomach. I was really nervous because the first day post-op I took a chewable Gas-X and threw that right up. But I think that was like 1 day post-op and I was not ready for it. So far those have gone well. I'm also taking the Berry Melts biotin. I don't know how well, I don't expect this to stop my hair loss by any means. Like, that's a scientific process. You can't stop it. But I have pretty weak nails anyways, and my hair could always use some luster, so I figured why not. Last time I took biotin, I took it in college, and it sort of made me break out, so I stopped taking it. So we're going to see if this works any better. But I've taken one of these 2 today, and it was fine. And then the final thing that I'm taking is a chewable FloraVantage probiotic. So this is Berry Melts, but the other ones are all Bariatric Advantage. They're sold by my surgeon. My surgeon approves them. And I figured, you know, to start, I'm going to go with that. The stuff that I know is good for me, or okay. But the probiotic is totally, and as obviously the biotin as well, but the probiotic is optional. But my surgeon they've noticed that people who take probiotics tend to be more successful with the weight loss, just something that they've personally seen. The dietitians really recommend it. I mean, probiotics are just good for you anyway. And especially like I've got a new stomach, you know, a new population of gut bacteria. I think they could use some help. So I got that. In addition, I'm also taking the docusate sodium, the stool softener every day. I also have some Miralax that I might eventually transition into when those run out. I'll talk about that with my surgeon. And then I'm taking the PPI as well. I'm taking that daily. My surgeon actually has you take that for the first 6 months. I know a lot of ones are 3 months, so he has me take it for 6 months. So we'll see. Hopefully hopefully I don't have acid reflux after surgery, but we will see. So this was pretty long. And I don't think I have anything else to talk about. So I don't know. I feel good. I feel pretty great since, you know, it's been 1 week, and I honestly thought it would be worse. The first few days in the hospital, like the hospital, the day home, those were brutal, but I've bounced like right back. Feeling good, feeling strong, though. God, the bruising. Look at how worse this bruise is now. I don't know if you can see, like this one doesn't look bad, but it does in certain lighting, and it's like all puffy. Sorry. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching. I have really been enjoying these videos as a chance to just kind of talk and connect with people. Please, you know, consider liking and subscribing. I have my FitnessPal and my Instagram link below. I update those every day, pretty much. I'm kind of taking notes in my FitnessPal too. If you guys are making videos and, you know, you want me to give them a watch, let me know. I've been binging a lot of people's stories on here since I've got the next 2 weeks off. So I'd love to follow some new people. So you should let me know below. And I hope you guys are all doing wonderfully. I know there are a lot of people getting the surgery in the next week or 2, which is really exciting. I know I've been talking with a couple of you guys on Instagram. And it's just kind of fun to like kind of find your group of January sleevers or January weight loss surgery people. We can all go through it together. But I'm just rambling now. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will be back for sure next week, next Tuesday. That's when I have my 2-week post-op appointment and my diet advancement class. I'm so excited. They aren't giving me they don't give you like any of the requirements for that post 2 weeks. I think because they want to force you to come in and they don't want you to advance on your own. So I have no clue like what they're, you know, if there's going to be purees. I don't even know if they have pureed stage or if soft foods. I mean, I'll tell you all about what I learned in that class. So I'll see you guys soon. Bye.